too hard, and to light a fire and clean a fire, it's just a hassle.
Utah's Department of Environmental Quality recently put restrictions on wood-burning fireplaces, which makes up to 15% of air pollution.
Right now there is a need for my experience and skills to serve in our nation's long-lasting war in Afghanistan.
North Ogden Mayor Brent Taylor passed away this weekend on deployment in Afghanistan.
Almost never been a more important time to vote in our lifetimes.
As the nation preps for midterm election day tomorrow, voters say that this one feels different than years before. Welcome to Newsline. It's Monday, November 5th. I'm Simeon Toronto.
And I'm Cristina Bolaños. Election day is tomorrow. For those casting their ballot, it is important to know the issues they are voting for. Newsline reporter Taylor Hansen is here to tell us more about what's on the ballot this year. Taylor.
On the ballot, there are 3 propositions, 3 amendments to the Constitution, and a non-binding question.
While many people have already sent in their mail-in ballots or are waiting to vote in person tomorrow on Election Day, others are hesitant to vote due to the lack of knowledge of what this year's ballot includes.
I guess if I was more informed, I'd be more interested in voting.
I don't really know what the voting ballot is for. I haven't necessarily checked.
While we are encouraged to vote, we can't do it without knowing what the issues on the ballot mean. One of the issues being voted on is Proposition 3, which is meant to expand our Medicaid coverage while raising sales tax from 4.7% to 4.85%.
I think it's important that we as a society take care of people, and so I think that'll benefit us because it's something that's good that we should be doing. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's enough that it will make a difference, so I think it'll be frustrating when you're trying to buy things and you can't buy as much.
One of the Constitution amendments, Amendment A, will extend property tax exemptions to anyone that serves in the military 200 out of 365 days of the year, and the time doesn't have to be consecutive.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a good thing for people who serve our country.
Along with the amendments and propositions, citizens of Utah are asked to vote yes or no to increasing the fuel tax rate by 10 cents per gallon to provide funding for public education and roads.
Well, I mean, there's already enough construction in Provo on the public roads, so I don't know if I want more.
These issues will be determined by those who vote.
I think it's important to vote because it's how your voice gets heard.
As citizens of the country, we need to be able to make our voices heard and matters, especially things that matter to us.
Today is the last day to send in your ballots by mail, or you can vote at designated voting locations tomorrow on Election Day. Back to you.
In a final push for votes before Election Day tomorrow, President Trump will hold 3 rallies today following several over the weekend. Many politicians and celebrities are campaigning across the country in an election some call the most important of our time. Natasha Chen explains what's at the stake tomorrow.
Almost never been a more important time to vote in our lifetimes.
Midterm elections don't usually capture voters' attention the way a presidential election does, but voters tell us this one feels different.
The left is battering our president, and that can't be.
Different because certain issues are at a tipping point, like immigration.
Yes, sir, we have barbed wire going up because you know what? We're not letting these people invade our country.
And healthcare.
The health care of millions of people are on the ballot. Making sure working families get a fair shake is on the ballot.
By Halloween, the number of early and absentee votes had already surpassed the number of total early and absentees in any previous midterm election. Celebrities like Oprah Winfrey have gotten on the campaign trail.
We have this incredible opportunity to make history. We have our inalienable right to vote because the one place where we're all equal, where is it? It's at the polls.
Election Day could produce a record number of women, African Americans, Latinos, LGBTQ, and veteran elected officials in 2019. It's not just a fight for offices in Washington. Governorships are also on the line.
We're doing very well in Miami-Dade, turning out a lot of voters. We have a lot of enthusiasm here.
On Tuesday, y'all, we're bringing it home.
The body of North Ogden Mayor Brent Taylor will be returned to his family later this week. He died on Saturday while serving our country in Afghanistan. 39-year-old Taylor, not only a mayor, but a major in the National Guard. This was his 4th deployment to Afghanistan. He was killed in an insider attack by the people of the battalion he was there to train. Taylor was deployed less than a year ago.
Service is what leadership is all about. And today I'm announcing that I will be deploying to Afghanistan to continue my service as a member of the Army National Guard.
Taylor made this announcement on his Facebook page early last January. He was assigned to serve for 1 year overseas and would have come home in just a few months.
Utah Governor Gary Herbert expressed his sadness and gratitude for the service and sacrifice of Brent Taylor, saying, I am heartbroken at the loss of Major Brent Taylor. Our deepest condolences and constant prayers are with his wife Jenny, his children, and the entire Taylor family. All of Utah mourns with you. A GoFundMe has been created to help support Taylor's wife and 7 children. The page has only been up for 1 day and has already received more than 3,000 donations, totaling more than $293,000 of the $350,000 goal.
Wood burning restrictions here in the Beehive State are in effect right now. Newsline reporter Christian Torres shows us how the Utah Department of Environmental Quality measures air quality levels and how some families avoid burning wood altogether.
Mayor. I know, we're from southern Idaho. We speak like we're barn and born.
Lori Rich and her husband built their house in 2006 and installed several fireplaces.
Well, this is embarrassing. We have 4. We have 1 in our bedroom.
3 of their 4 fireplaces are gas burning, which means they turn on with a switch and emit 3,000 times fewer particles into the air than wood-burning stoves. And the Rich's 1 wood-burning fireplace they hardly use.
There's so many no-burn days. It's too hard, and to light a fire and clean a fire, it's just a hassle.
Many people, however, still use wood-burning fireplaces, which account for up to 15% of air pollution in the Wasatch Front. Utah's Department of Environmental Quality recently started its annual wood-burning restrictions around the state. Jared Mendenhall from the department said that his office is constantly tracking air quality levels.
We're at Hawthorne Elementary School, and this is one of our air quality monitors. So you can see up on top we have different meteorological instruments and some instruments that are going to measure what the air quality is like in this neighborhood.
Particles in the atmosphere from burning are called PM 2.5, and they're 3% the diameter of a human hair. But those small particles can have negative health consequences for children, adults over 65, and anyone with heart or lung conditions.
That smoke that's coming out, the fire looks good, but you got to consider that your neighbor, your children are going to be the ones that are going to be breathing that in.
Earlier this year, the department offered funds for thousands of people to convert their wood stoves into natural gas devices. The money was all claimed in 24 hours. The newly updated Utah Air app provides hourly updates on air quality and can alert you about voluntary or mandatory no-burn days. Reporting for Newsline in Salt Lake City, I'm Christian Torres.
Northern Utah mourns the off-duty deaths of multiple police officers. Retired West Valley officer James Crawley, who served on the force for 41 years, passed away this weekend. The West Valley Police Department said in a Facebook post, Jim Crawley gave of himself unselfishly to his family, friends, co-workers, and the citizens of West Valley City. He will be deeply missed. Unified Police Department Sergeant Corey also passed away this weekend from medical complications of pancreatitis, according to his GoFundMe page. The Unified Police Department of Greater Salt Lake said in a Facebook post, "Our hearts ache as we say goodbye today to one of our own. Our thoughts and prayers are with Corey's family."
Brigham City mourns the loss of police officer Dennis Vincent, who was laid to rest this weekend. The funeral was held Saturday afternoon. His body was escorted to the Brigham City Cemetery by police force and officers as bystanders saluted his casket along the way. Vincent, who died from complications of a brain aneurysm, had served on the force since 1990.
If you have arachnophobia, you may not want to visit a traveling exhibit that is making a stop in Park City. Newsline reporter Sydney Storer shows us how the biggest arachnid museum in the nation is trying to conquer fears.
While Hollywood films and media give arachnids a bad rep, the exhibit hopes to break down barriers between humans and their fears.
They may seem really scary to a lot of people, but we've kind of learned about the personalities of all these creatures, and most of them are pretty friendly or don't want anything to do with you.
Arachnids have played a big part in history, and a lot of people have them in their tails, and there's a dance about them and stuff.
The arachnid collection includes 100 spiders and other creepy crawly things like ticks, mites, and scorpions. The purpose of the traveling showcase is to teach people how these creatures play a role in literature, art, history, and science.
But what many people don't know is that a spider's venom is actually used to map tumors and as pain medication as well.
Hey, are you guys here to see the arachnids exhibit?
The museum features interactive stations, close-up encounters, and art activities.
Things that are critically endangered, things from all over the world, colorful and large, something you're probably not going to see again.
The exhibit hopes to not only show others how these creatures can add value to human life, but how there's more to them than meets the eye. Reporting for Newsline in Park City, I'm Sydney Storr.
The exhibit is open from Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. until December 9th. For more information, visit swannerecocenter.org.
Drivers beware. The Provo Police Department Traffic Enforcement Team is conducting a traffic enforcement blitz today. The blitz will take place at the Provo Center Street I-15 interchange exit. Provo Police Department is pairing with the Utah Highway Patrol. They will be looking for red light, fail to yield, speeding, and unsafe lane change violations. The blitz is an effort to enhance public safety awareness and decrease traffic accidents.
2 airplanes collide mid-air.
They saw it spiraling down, so they're pretty sure it crashed.
We'll tell you how it happened and where the plane ended up landing.
Many Lowe's stores are closing. We'll tell you where and why they are shutting down their doors.
Stay tuned to find out what November weather will bring this year coming up.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So, I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Jury selection starts today for trial of Mexican cartel boss Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Prospective panel members filled out a questionnaire before arriving for jury duty. Brooklyn U.S. District Court judge says this case is unprecedented. The amount of public attention has been extraordinary. The 61-year-old drug dealer has pleaded not guilty. One pilot is dead after 2 planes crashed mid-air in Ottawa, Canada Sunday morning. Authorities say that the first plane crashed into a field. The pilot was pronounced dead at the scene. The second plane made it safely to the Ottawa National Airport. No one on the second plane was hurt. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating.
Police and fire officials are investigating a house explosion in Lower Merion, Pennsylvania. Officials say all occupants are believed to have gotten out of the house. The house exploded around 8 p.m. Sunday evening. There is no word yet on what caused the explosion. Home improvement in North America is taking a hit. Lowe's is closing dozens of stores across the continent before February 1st. The home improvement chain said it is shutting down 20 locations in the U.S. and 31 in Canada. According to Lowe's, the locations are underperforming and a majority are within 10 miles of another Lowe's location. Lowe's did not say how many workers will be affected by its closings. Thousands of candles illuminate the Tower of London moat in commemoration of the end of World War I. Also known in time as the Great War, World War I ended on November 11, 1918. The tower is hosting an 8-night event to mark the 100-year anniversary where thousands of people can light a torch or candle to honor those who died during the war.
This weekend, the 6th annual Pinners Conference was held in Salt Lake County. Newsline reporter Sarah Collins attended the event. Sarah, what is the Pinners Conference?
Here, vendors come to present their crafts, clothes, and everything in between. A couple months ago, I got invited to be a presenter at Pinners Conference. So we don't actually have a booth here, but we are teaching because we're actually a salon.
With over 300 vendors, people of all ages can find the thing they are looking for.
My booth, young moms and grandmas.
The whole idea is we wanted to give women and consumers and people a place where they could come learn and create and connect. There's so many events that don't have anything for consumers, so this gives people an opportunity to really come and explore things that they might never try on their own because it's all put together for them. And they can shop and they can take classes. It's really fun.
So you having a good day so far?
Classes range from hair and makeup tutorials to baking classes.
There's also classes, and their classes are for like really pretty much anything like that are your interests.
People from all over come to display and showcase their skills and interact with consumers.
You know, my favorite part is seeing people walk away where they've actually made something that they would have never done before. I mean, whether it be they go to a cooking class and they learn a new tip, or they go to a hair and makeup class and they come out with these awesome braids, or, you know, where they actually make a DIY project. There literally is something for everyone.
This event happens the first weekend of November every year, and people can go to pinnersconference.com for more information. Back to you.
This weekend at the shops in the Riverwoods, they celebrated the Day of the Dead. Newsline reporter Berto Sanchez went to the celebration. What can you tell us about the festival, Berto?
This is the second annual event at Riverwoods. Day of the Dead is a Latin American tradition with Mesoamerican roots to honor and remember loved ones who are no longer with their families.
The festival started with traditional music, dancing, and colorful art and decorations to honor people who are no longer with us.
Dia de los Muertos is a beautiful celebration that's celebrated mostly in Mexico to honor those that have passed away, loved ones that are no longer here with us, and it's really a celebration to celebrate their life.
And classy. Although it's a Latin American tradition, it has made its way in the U.S. Films like Book of Life and Disney Pixar's Coco have helped this holiday become more mainstream.
To have this cultural event, the Day of the Dead, it just brings a new vibrancy here that we've not experienced in any other event that we've held. And I love the meaning behind it, remembering our family past. We've enjoyed holding it here for the past 2 years, and the Latino community really comes out, and we love that. We love having members come out, and it brings a whole new, like I said, new feel.
Dia de Muertos, or Day of the Dead, focuses on family, passing along memories and traditions to generations who didn't get the chance to meet those who have passed.
Learning about the tradition behind it, for us it's been an opportunity to share with our children about their grandparents or great-grandparents that they hadn't met. So for us, it's a very beautiful tradition and something we have learned to love throughout the years.
The official day for Dia de los Muertos is November 2nd. Tradition has it that on this day, loved ones that have passed come to visit relatives. It is a time to share stories, memories of our family members to always remember them. Back to you.
Thanks, Berto.
The Conrad Maldives Ringali Island has opened the world's first ever underwater hotel. The two-story villa is set more than 15 feet below the Indian Ocean, which offers views of the beautiful sea, wildlife, and deep blue water. It's a chance to get up close with personal with Willie, Nemo, Dory, and other sea life. Well, if you're looking for a vacation to escape this cold weather coming in, that might be your chance. Looking at this map, we see more deep purples, which means we are hitting these freezing temperatures. Luckily, zooming into Utah, those freezing temperatures are still remaining in the mountains. I'm sure you've noticed the snow hitting the tops from this weekend, but these light blues are bringing in the 40s for November mainly. And this week we're looking at 40s across the board. Right now we see more snow up in Provo on the mountain range, but luckily that snow won't hit the valley until later this month. We are looking at 53 degrees right now in Provo for the high. If you're headed up to Salt Lake, it'll be a little chillier with 51 degrees. Down in St. George, we're hitting 72 still, which is nice. But our lows are what are concerning. We are 30s across the board and 28 degrees in Price. St. George, luckily, is still 44 degrees for the low, but the week itself is looking pretty nice. We have 70s and dropping into the lower 60s this weekend. So sunshine still there, and our northern day forecast also has some sunshine, which is quite nice. We are looking at 46 degrees on Thursday and 47 on Friday for the weekend, but the 40s are here to stay.
It's perfect weather for a good run. I'm glad we get a couple more days to be outside.
Absolutely. Perfect for running, and all the Cougars here at BYU are running, as well as Jared. A professor here at BYU. A professor at BYU made headlines this week at the New York City Marathon. Find out what he did and what his future plans are as a marathon runner. Also, following the loss at Boise State, BYU needs a hot streak to get into a bowl game. Find out what needs to happen for the Cougars to get there coming up.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
BYU professor Jared Ward was in New York City this weekend to race in the TCS New York City Marathon. The BYU statistics professor took 6th place in the marathon with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 24 seconds. The Olympic runner was also the first American to finish the race. He also participated in this race last year, finishing in 12th. This year, he shattered that time by 6 minutes. Ward plans to return to the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. Following the devastating 21-16 loss Saturday night against Boise State, BYU hopes to bounce back quickly as the season quickly is coming to an end. In order for BYU to qualify for a bowl game, BYU will need to win 2 of their next 3 games to close out the season. BYU will be facing the UMass Minutemen at Gillette Stadium this Saturday. Although UMass is 4-6 on the season, they are coming off of 2 consecutive wins going into this week. BYU will enter as underdogs. Saturday, then face New Mexico State and close out the season against Pac-12 conference favorite Utah. BYU took on Loyola Marymount Saturday with high stakes at hand. With the West Coast Conference Championship on the line, BYU women's soccer pulled through with a 2-1 win to give them the largest bid going into the NCAA tournament. The Cougars went 13-4-1 on the season, including going 8-1 in conference play. This is the 6th conference championship in 7 years for the Cougars. Their seed in the NCAA tournament will be announced today at 2:30 p.m. Real Salt Lake began their series against Sporting Kansas last night in the MLS Conference semifinals.
It goes to Rusnak.
RSL and Kansas City tied Sunday night in Sandy and will play the second leg of their series this next Sunday in Kansas City. RSL will come in as underdogs as they will be without star midfielder Albert Rusnak. Rusnak picked up a yellow card against the Los Angeles Football Club in the knockout round and then picked up another Sunday night. Back-to-back playoff yellow cards result in a 1-game suspension. 50-0 boxing legend Floyd Mayweather comes out of retirement once again to face off against 20-year-old Japanese kickboxing phenom Tenshin Nasukawa. Nasukawa is no joke, 27-0 with 21 knockouts as a kickboxer and 4-0 in the MMA. This will be Floyd's biggest challenge in years. Despite being 50-0, Floyd is 41 years old. It has not been released how many rounds, weight limit, glove size, or money will be earned. The fight will take place on New Year's Eve in Japan. We'll be right back.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time.
Thanks. These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What?
What would you do for your 106th birthday? One Arizona centenarian decided she wanted to celebrate at Taco Bell. Martha's Jewel Painter was born in 1912 and moved to Phoenix in 1932. She remarked that life at the age of 106, you don't walk as good.
That's exactly how I'm trying to be when I'm 106. If I'm not having my party at Taco Bell, it's not worth living that long. That's what I'm trying to do.
106, that's pretty impressive.
Impressive. Well, thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
Have a great day. Oh, what's
It goes to Rusnak. Rusnak fires. Goal! What a goal! RSLH!